EA Sports College Football 27 is on its way, and we got some player rankings, team rankings. What did they get right from the SEC? It is time for Locked On SEC.
You are Locked On SEC, your daily podcast on the Southeastern Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, everybody? I'm Chris Gordy. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The biggest stage in world soccer is here. Let there be goals on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com today to get started. Welcome in, everybody. Chris Marler. Marler, I am super excited. I'm a big fan of the NCAA video game, and they dropped just last week the toughest places to play, and the SEC had a lot of teams on there, but we'll be getting more and more rankings, so I figured we kind of run through them. They've got some position rankings we'll get to, but I want to start with the top of the top. They rank the 10 best players in college football 27, and the first guy at the top of the list is not even an SEC guy. It's an Ohio State guy, Jeremiah Smith, the first 99 overall player at the launch of the game. Like, this isn't like they updated or anything. I mean, are we overhyping Jeremiah Smith a little bit? I mean, he's awesome. I just like the first 99 ever at launch.
That seems weird. But I guess also if you think about it, most of the games came out when the player who's on the cover was already gone. So like, unless it was like Tebow or, man, I always date myself with this, and I don't want to do that. But like the first one I had was on PC, and it was Danny Werfel on the cover of the 98 game. And I was North Carolina every week, and I just destroyed people with Dre Bly and Julius Peppers. But no, I think it makes sense that he's number one overall. Him being 99, it almost would surprise me more, Gordy, is that they haven't had an overreaction to a different player being at 99 before. Like Arch not being a 99, or like DJ Lagway being like 95. It's like almost less surprising just with the way that they do these things sometimes.
Yeah. So Jeremiah's 99. Just to give you the rest of the top 10. Again, this is top 10 players in all of college football, according to EA Sports. They've got Leonard Moore from Notre Dame is 2. They've got Carter Smith from Indiana is 3. At 4, we get Kewan Lacy, the first SEC player. He is a 96 overall, the Ole Miss running back. Malachi Toney, the Miami wide receiver, is 5. And then a run on some SEC guys. We've got at number 6 overall, Ahmad Hardy, Mizzou running back. Number 7, Caden Green, Mizzou offensive lineman. Then we got Dante Moore at Oregon, quarterback at 8. Colin Simmons at Texas at 9. And KJ Bolden from Georgia at 10. My first reaction here is, based on these rankings, they're telling us Kewan Lacy is the best player in the SEC this year. Would you agree with that?
No. Also, I hope this does not get around to Big Ten fans, but who is Carter Miller?
Carter Smith.
Oh, even worse. Who's Carter Smith?
Yeah, he's an offensive tackle at Indiana.
Okay. All right. Well, at least I thought he was like a center or something stupid. I mean, Lacy's up there. I'm surprised that Trinidad Chambliss wouldn't be ahead of him, or Arch, something like that. Lacy's really, really talented. It's just, I feel like the running back position itself is just so devalued nowadays. So it's like, it's kind of surprising to see that high up there. I don't disagree with it. I don't think I'm mad at it, but it is interesting to hear, like I didn't hear Dylan Stewart's name, right?
Right.
Colin Simmons at 10 seems odd.
No,
I didn't hear Arch, right?
No Arch.
I mean, that just feels it. Cam Coleman, nowhere to be found.
Nope.
That's wild. So, and I love Malachi Toney. I think he's awesome, and he's like perfect for a game like this. But are people just lining up in this video game and just running the damn ball nonstop? Is that why is Kewan Lacy that high?
Yeah. So again, our 5 SEC guys in the top 10. Kewan Lacy 4. He's a 96 overall. Ahmad Hardy and Caden Green, both at Mizzou, at 96 overall. Colin Simmons at 9. He's 95 overall. And KJ Bolden, a 95 overall at 10. Look, I like KJ Bolden a lot. Is he the best defensive back in the SEC? According to these rankings, he would be.
He would be the second best defender in the SEC, and he's not either of those things. I think he's really good. I don't think KJ Bolden is Malachi Starks. I don't think KJ Bolden's Bray Hubbard, to be honest. So I mean that's kind of surprising. the best safety. Well, we'll get to that some other episode, but I just it's surprising me, and it shouldn't be maybe because it's like some of the stuff that I've seen on here is I saw like the speed rankings they did, and it's got to be hard to whoever's doing this to like to get it right every single time because you're not going to go call up like Kalen DeBoer or Shane Beamer or whoever else like, hey, I need the 40 times for all your players so I know what to rank them for speed. Like that's not going to happen. But it's also shocking that some of the things they just get flat out wrong in this game. And I think the top 10 players is off to a pretty good start. Also, Caden Green's an offensive guard, right?
Well, I think he's the left tackle now, right?
Okay, maybe
because they brought in Zach Owens from Clemson in Colorado is going to be the left guard, but
he's not the best tackle in the SEC.
But that's even crazier is that you're telling me Mizzou's got 296 overall players. Mizzou, like, if we do a sim on the EA Sports game, Mizzou might win the SEC. Like,
maybe. I mean, that's crazy. Like, I mean, and again, maybe I'm just too far out of video games, but I feel like I would not be spending most of my time running the ball. It's wild. I think both those two are very talented backs. I think they're the two most talented running backs in the country. It's surprising that they're so talented in this game that they're top 10 overall. Like that seems wild to me.
We should mention too, Ahmad Hardy finished ahead of Kewan Lacy in total rush yards last year. So,
yeah, with less games.
Yeah, so kind of interesting. Let's look at the top 10 teams. So you did the top 10 players, and they got the top 10 teams coming in at number 1. Do you want to guess before I pull the graphic up?
I'm sure it's going to be Ohio, or it's Oregon.
That is the sexy pick. Everybody is on them. I heard our buddy Connor O'Gara on a show the other day saying he what if they win the national championship? Because look, Dan Lanning, it's like I've been saying it for years, like put up or shut up time, dude. Are you one of the best coaches in college football? Win something. And so that's a little scary if Oregon's the best team. They're a 91 overall.
I don't need him to win something. I need him to show up and not get his ass beat. Like that is, I mean, he is like, if you think about it, I mean, what happened against Ohio State a couple years ago in the Rose Bowl? What happened against Indiana? I mean, they're not just losing games; they're getting their doors blown off in the biggest moments. So it's like, I think that's pretty surprising to me that they would be number 1 overall. Now they are really talented. Dante Moore not being higher on that list is pretty surprising to me too. But they are. I think that the thing that's most impressive about Oregon is they really have built their team and their roster in the same way that SEC teams do, and like from the inside out. Like they start in the trenches, and they've got a lot of really good players in that offensive defensive line.
So the top 4 teams, according to EA Sports: Oregon, Ohio State 2, Indiana 3, Notre Dame 4. No SEC teams in the top 4. And putting Indiana as the 3rd best team in a 90 overall, I know they just won the championship, but they lost a ton, man. Can we talk a little bit about Indiana taking a little bit of step back? Like 3rd best team in a 90 overall? Like
that's
Josh
wild.
Hoover good, but come on, man.
Yeah, I think I mean, but I also feel the way I've always felt this way, and I apologize. Notre Dame was 2?
It's Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana, Notre Dame.
Okay. I feel bad for saying this, but like I agree with you that like they are going to take a step back, and like because the step back is like they're not going to be 16-0 and be one of the best teams of all time. I think that the other part of this too, though, is like if you win the national title, in my opinion, you should probably be ranked pretty high the following year. The only one I've ever thought was going to be a total disaster was Michigan in 2024 after they won it in 2023, and they were a disaster. So I get it. I don't know if I would have Ohio State ahead of them. I feel like that's one you got to prove on the field. I mean, that's pretty surprising to me as well. But not having an SEC team in the top 4 is wild.
The 5th best team, according to EA Sports, going into this season, is the top team from the SEC, the Texas Longhorns at 89 overall. And they've said all offseason they are all in. Sark is all in. He has not shied away from the expectations. In fact, I had Brad Crawford on from CBS Sports the other day, and he even said, he's like, even Lane Kiffin got to a podium and was like, look, guys, we're going to try to win it all this year, but we might not. Sark is like, we are going all in. We changed our DC. We got Arch freaking Manning. We got Cam Coleman. So, look, I like Georgia a lot. I like a lot of teams in the SEC, but Texas, I think right now is the preseason top team in the SEC. Would you agree?
It's hard for me to say this because I have maintained for several years now, until he beats Texas or until he beats Georgia, he should not be ranked ahead of them. I do feel like this year, I think they're the top two teams clearly. Like, I think those are the top two teams in the SEC. And then after them, it's LSU. And then after that, it's kind of a crapshoot. And so I think that having them number one, I understand it. But if you're going to have them at 5, I mean, if you're going to be that high on Texas, coming off a 10-3 season where they won the Cheez-It Bowl, they lost to Florida, should have lost to Kentucky, should have lost Mississippi State. I know they spent a ton of money, but if you rebuild this roster this way and you go into a year where they have arguably the hardest schedule in the country, if you're going to be that high on them to say that they're going to go beat Georgia, which they haven't done any time in the last 3 years, pretty much in all sports, I don't know why you would have them so low at 5. Like, that seems weird too.
Then Miami comes in at number 6, and then it is 4 SEC teams at 7, 8, 9, 10. It is LSU 7. So the video games got LSU the second best team in the SEC, Ole Miss 8, Georgia 9, Oklahoma 10. That's how
I'm so glad I didn't hear Texas A&M come out of your mouth. I knew that's where that was going. I'm so glad it didn't happen. I have a lot of problems with that. One, Ole Miss is not going to be that good this year. 2, I mean, Georgia being 9 with everything they have returning, with how few of people they lost, with like the talent that stayed in from a retention standpoint, all that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, this team is going to be very, very good. Have you seen Georgia's schedule?
Yeah.
I mean, they don't play LSU. They don't play Texas. They don't play Texas A&M. I mean, they get Oklahoma at home. They got to go to Ole Miss. But again, Ole Miss is not like Ole Miss at 8 is, I think, this year's Texas A&M. I think that like they're going to be a good team. And they have some really cool pieces like Kewan Lacy and Trinidad Chambliss. And I love Perkins at linebacker. And I think they've gotten better across the board at each level in the defense. And Jake Crawford's going to be really good in his 3rd year. I love Pete Golding. I think he's building a really, really good team, and a really, really good program. It's going to be sustainable and be around for a while. It's absurd to me that we're thinking that they're the 8th best team in the country with a first-year head coach and, a kind of a gutted staff and team that lost all this, they didn't lose that much to the NFL draft, but they lost, a lot of talent off last year's team.
It's going to be really interesting too. The Charlie Weiss, Lane Kiffin component and Kevin Smith, running back coach, did they help make Kewan Lacy and Trinidad Chambliss as good as they were last year? Or were those guys just awesome? And It doesn't matter who's coaching them, they're going to be studs. That's the interesting part about it. And I get people are going to say, well, Lane wasn't there in the playoff games, but They still had Charlie Weiss Jr. calling the plays. They still had a lot of those pieces.
Well, and the other thing too, though, is I keep saying this, and it's like I don't mean this as a slight to Ole Miss. I think the trajectory of Ole Miss for me in this conference and where they're going under Golding, from a roster standpoint, recruiting, all that kind of stuff, I think they're just ascending up. Like I think they're going to be, if he can coach, at all, they're going to be in contention a lot. I just don't think that this year having to replace all that. And here's the thing I keep going back to, and I've said this so many times. You have Saban, Kirby Smart, those are all guys that are they're like the best coaches Sark is considered one of the best coaches in the country, right? Sark lost to Kansas in year 1. Saban lost to Louisiana Monroe in 4 straight games in November. Kirby lost to Vanderbilt after he allowed a jet sweep to be called on 4th and 1 to a receiver when he had Nick Chubb and Sonny Michel in the backfield. Sometimes in year 1 as a head coach, you make some dumb decisions. And I don't know if I don't know why we're assuming that Pete Golding is going to be impervious to doing something like that. Great word.
Again, this is just based on I guess talent, but it is wild to see LSU at 7 because I think all the preseason polls are not going to have LSU that high, but I think they're going just based off player rankings and Jordan Seaton and all the talent. LSU's got a lot of talent. It's just a matter of, 7th most talented team in the country.
They don't deserve to be ahead of Georgia, but they are going to be very good. They're it's going to piss off a lot of people. And I saw that Bud Elliott had talked about this, and I know it's a little bit off topic, but he was talking about how it's like the easiest schedule in the SEC. I don't agree with that at all. They play Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Bama, and Texas, and they played those 4 games. They play 2 of those back to back. Ole Miss, then A&M, Bama, and then Texas. The good news is they get a lot of those at home, but that is a tough schedule that's not going to be very forgiving. And like we talk about that schedule, we don't even talk about the Clemson game to open, the road game at Tennessee. So I don't think it's an easy schedule. I do think they're going to be very good, though.
Hey, guys, the biggest stage in world soccer is here, and every match feels like it has the potential for a memorable moment. One goal can completely change the energy of a game, shift momentum, and alter the outcome in an instant, and that's what makes tournament soccer so exciting, from the opening whistle to the final kick. And right now, our friends at FanDuel, they are giving you another reason to stay locked into every match with every goal pays. Here's what you do. You bet on a match, and you get bonus bets for every goal scored in that match. More goals means more bonus bets. All you got to do is turn on your token and you can start winning. That's what you're going to love about these tournaments. You can turn on a match between teams you don't normally follow, and suddenly one goal changes everything. The tension builds so quickly, you're invested before you even realize it. And look, we're heading into the knockout round. Every goal means that much more. And maybe you're looking at those matchups where teams are more aggressive offensively and they're going to score more goals. Right now, you can benefit from each goal scored with this great promotion at FanDuel. From the opening whistle to the final kick, let there be goals at FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com today to get started. Hey, thank you guys for making Locked On SEC your first listen of the day. Thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. Get your daily Locked On SEC fix completely ad-free by joining our Everydayer Club today. Start your 7-day free trial right now and get closer to your favorite conference without the interruptions. Click the link in the show notes or go to lockedonsec.supercast.com to claim your free trial. Good to see our conversation with Chris Marler, and we're breaking down some of the rankings coming out from EA Sports and Marler. They've got the top 10 offenses ranking. Ohio State is number 1. Oregon is 2. They are a 92 and a 91 overall. Number 3 is Indiana again. Again, I'm not trying to hate on Cincinnati and Indiana, but I am in the boat that I think last year was a miracle season, and it was awesome and great, or storybook season. But I think that page turns, and I think Indiana comes crashing back down to reality. Again, I could be wrong here, but of the SEC, just offenses, they have Texas 4, LSU 6, Ole Miss 8, Missouri 9, and Oklahoma 10. So a little bit of a repeat of what we saw in the top 10 teams overall. Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, Mizzou, and Oklahoma, all top 10 offenses. Is that a little bit of a stretch? John Mateer and John Arbuckle and company?
Yeah. I mean, now the one thing I do think about Oklahoma that's going to be really good this year is that offensive line is going to be good. They returned 6 guys on the offensive line that have at least 6 starts. And while I cannot figure out that math for the life of me, I do know it's factual. So the run game should be better. That was a big thing that hampered them a season ago. I mean, Mateer should at least be healthy. And they just didn't lose anybody, like on either side of the ball, really, to the portal that was like of significance. They lost some pieces defensively, like, R. Mason Thomas or whatever. What's the name? He sounds like a general store from the 1800s. Do it right with R. Mason Thomas. And so I think they're going to be really good. I worry that Mateer is not going to be like the guy that we all thought he was. I do think he's going to be better in year 2, though. And also, they're one of the few teams in this conference that get to go into this year with the same quarterback and coordinator and head coach. And that's like for the first time, in a while, it feels like that's been like a rarity for around the league.
I misspoke. I said John Arbuckle. It's Ben Arbuckle. John Arbuckle owns Garfield. That's that guy. But
there you go.
Mizzou and Ole Miss as top 10 offenses in all of college football. I appreciate the Ahmad Hardy. We're giving a lot of leeway to Austin Simmons. And then the same thing with Ole Miss. The name you got to know is John David Baker. Everyone in Oxford's a believer and believes in him, but I think the rest of the country is going, are you as good as Lane and Charlie Weiss Jr.? I know he's a disciple, so he's been there. He knows the system. He may just try to keep it the same, but dude, you got to prove it to me at the SEC level that you're a big-time OC.
It's interesting because that's a guy that, South Carolina was looking at him too, and they ended up going with Kendall Briles. And I think he's a good offensive coordinator, but at East Carolina, in comparison to doing it at the SEC level, you're right. Mizzou being in the top 10 here, because if they had Kevin Coleman coming back at receiver, I would feel better about it. Like I would be okay with that. Or if they had some of the former receivers they had, a couple of years ago, like I would feel a lot better about that. I love Ahmad Hardy. I think he still doesn't get enough love. that he should. But he's also coming off an injury, right? Like, I don't know how serious it is, but part of me almost feels like they were like, you know how in the summer we do those exercises where it's like, all right, here we're gonna pick each game for each team, and you're like going through it and like, yeah, this looks good, and I got Bama at 9-3, and Auburn's gonna go 6-6, and you're kind of going through it, and then it's like you get to like the 8th or 9th team, and you're like, oh crap, I forgot that I said they were gonna lose this game, so now I kind of have to say, I kind of wonder if they were like, all right, let's start with the best players. And so I was like, Ahmad Hardy and Caden Green are top 10. And then we're like, oh, crap, I guess we got to say that Missouri's a top 10 offense because we've already done that.
No, and look, Drink is a good offensive mind, and they bring in Chip Lindsey from Michigan, and he's a good offensive mind as well. I just again, Mizzou, if Mizzou has a top 10 offense, Marler, Mizzou is competing for the SEC and might be in Atlanta. So,
I love the upside. I think Austin Simmons can be really good. I just, and he's going to have a quarterback's best friend, which is a really good ground game. But I don't, top 10, that's wild.
Real quick, let's look at their top 10 defenses. They have Oregon 1, Indiana 2. Indiana's a top 5 offense and defense. Oh my God. Notre Dame, Texas Tech 4. Bro, they lost Jacob Rodriguez and Bailey. They lost all those dudes.
And edge
we get it to
right?
5. It's the first SEC team. Georgia at 5 as an 89 overall. Alabama at 6 as an 89 overall. Then it's Ohio State 7, Texas 8, OU 9, LSU 10. They are very high on LSU defense as well. But what do you make of Georgia and Alabama, the SEC's 2 highest rated defenses?
I could see. I mean, Alabama was one of the best defenses in the conference and country last year. But they had a lot of like pain points, right? Like you could there was a couple things that were I kept waiting for someone to line up and run through them, and then Indiana finally did. But it felt like they could have been exposed earlier in the year. They have the best secondary in America that's coming back. Like that they have, and there's zero doubt. I think that's like not even up for debate. Georgia being behind Texas Tech is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. Texas Tech lost David Bailey and Jacob Rodriguez, who were 2 of the best players in the country a season ago. And we're just saying that Texas Tech is just going to reload. I mean, okay, I'm sure they spent a lot of money in the portal. I cannot imagine they're going to have – is it going to look better against the Big 12? Maybe that's what we're doing here. But to say that Georgia, with everything they have coming back, to not be in the top 5, it feels weird. It feels like we had a 22-year-old or a 19 to 22-year-old get real excited about watching college football for the first time in the last 3 years, and is all of a sudden like, these are the best teams. Like Georgia's a has-been. Like Georgia's going to have, I think, their best defense since 2022 or 2021. Like they are going to be very, very good up front, and that is shocking to me that they would be behind Texas Tech. That's the LSU thing. I'm not surprised.
Oklahoma at 9 is a little like I think they have a chance to be the best defense in the SEC this year with what they bring back. And by the way, they ranked first in the SEC in sacks last year with 45, Oklahoma. Right. So why we're putting them behind Georgia, Alabama, and Texas. By the way, Bama was like 7th in the SEC in sacks last year. The secondary's great, but the pressure, where's the pressure? Where's the Dallas Turners and the Will Andersons and those guys?
So the whole thing with that defense too is the swarm defense, where it's like they're not concerned about that as much as they are like getting to the football, and they did really well last night. Kane Womack was a really good coordinator last year, but I would say if he's listening, and I know he's a big fan of the show, hey man, I want you to get to the quarterback. I think you should get to the quarterback. I don't know if you've watched some of those old teams that he just mentioned, but you should get to the quarterback. Like they were really good in 2021 and they got to the quarterback a whole bunch. Most teams that do that are really good. Now the LSU thing is interesting because I don't think they have anything off the edge besides Uman Mielon that is going to be great. Like they got the kid Jordan Ross from Tennessee, he's a former 5-star. And then I'll tell you the other one that I wouldn't say it should be top 10 in the country, but you just brought up the rushing the passer. I mean, South Carolina has led the SEC in turnovers forced over the last 5 years more than anyone else in the SEC. They have the best edge rusher in the country. They've got another 5-star edge rusher that's on the other side of him. They have the deepest defensive line they've had, like they had in 2024. The secondary is always really good under Torian Gray. and they return all three of their linebackers in that 4-2-5 like flex nickel defense. People are really sleeping on South Carolina, and it's going to. I think it's going to come back to haunt them.
Hey guys, running a business should not feel like you're trying to connect a bunch of systems that were never designed to work together. One app for accounting, another for inventory, another for sales, and somehow none of them are talking to each other. That's where Odoo comes in. Odoo is an all-in-one business management software that brings every part of your business together on one powerful platform. From sales and accounting to inventory and marketing, everything works in one place, helping your team move faster, stay organized, and focus on growing the business instead of managing software. The best organizations know that success isn't just about talent. It's about having everybody working together toward the same goal, and that's true in sports just like it is in business. We're about to start a fall camp here across the SEC. Got a lot of coaches, a lot of new players. Everybody's got to be working together. Every part of the organization has to be aligned, everyone pulling in the same direction. It is a coordinated effort across the entire organization that makes it successful. Great organizations win because operations matter, and that's why you should get Odoo. Try them for free today at odoo.com/lockedon. That's odoo.com/lockedon, odoo.com/lockedon. Final segment here with Chris Marler. We're talking about some of the EA Sports rankings. And Marler, we're going to run through just some of the positions real quick and just get a quick thought as we look at the positions. And we'll start with edge rushers. Their top 10 edge rushers: Colin Simmons out of Texas, number 1. Dylan Stewart, South Carolina, number 3, is a 93 overall. So there's your guy. And the only other guys from the SEC, they've got Yanze Pierre from Alabama at 91, and Quincy Rhodes from Arkansas in at number 10 as a 90 overall. But Dylan Stewart finally getting some praise here.
Yeah, I mean, it's that shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. I mean, he's a freak. The thing with Stewart that's so crazy is he doesn't have the same build as like a Jadeveon Clowney, who's a monster and big and thick and all that kind of stuff. And somebody that can come in and there's guys that can just get to the quarterback. Like Dallas Turner was really good at just getting to the quarterback. Will Anderson's really good at getting to the quarterback. But a guy like Nolan Smith at Georgia that is really good against the run still, and also really, really good at just being a disruptor. Dylan Stewart, he does that better than anyone else in the country, and really has for the last 2 years. Like I'm not saying the sack numbers or production from that specific stat are going to blow you away, but the forced fumbles, the what he does inside, the tackles for loss, him blowing up plays, he is, I think, the best defender in the country.
The top 10 linebackers, Centurion Perkins from Ole Miss is number 1 overall. He is a 92, as well as Rasheem Biles, the transfer coming into Texas, who I've been told is a tackling machine. So look for him with the Longhorns. Xavier Atkins from Auburn is number 3. So it's 3 SEC guys, 1, 2, 3 as best linebackers. And the only other guy on this list from the SEC is Whit Weeks at number 9. But some really good linebacker play going to be in the SEC this year.
Yeah, I mean, Whit Weeks is awesome. Those other linebackers are as well. I'll tell you one, and I'm biased when I say this, but I just wouldn't be surprised if Justin Okoronkwo or Fred J.R. Johnson is going to end up there as well, at least in the SEC towards the end of the year.
Top 10 D tackles, David Stone from Oklahoma. They have it number 1 as a 94 overall. Will Eccles from Ole Miss is number 3 on the list. Jamarius Brown from Ole Miss is number 8 on the list. And that's it for the SEC guys in the tackles. It's kind of weird because we're used to the SEC being so good in the trenches, but missing some guys. I'm sure some guys will come and make names for themselves as the season goes along. But to round out the defense, top 10 corners, Xavier Brown from Alabama, they have number 3. Kelly Jones from Mississippi State, number 5. And then Georgia's Ellis Robinson at number 9. I actually would have probably found another Alabama guy to put on here, but they have Texas Tech's Bryce Pollock at number 2 overall. Again, they are very high on Texas Tech for some reason. Who's the big booster? Did he write a check for this?
Cody Campbell. Yeah, I think if we're gonna find out that Cody Campbell's the one that sponsored the game, yeah, I mean that's wild to me. That is, I mean, Xavier Brown at 3. He's a potential top 15 to 20 pick in the draft. You said you would have had somebody else in there. This is just corners or defensive backs overall? It
was just cornerbacks. Yeah.
Okay. Let's say Bray Hubbard not being that's a joke. The The one that I would keep an eye on is DJ Pickett from LSU, former 5-star kid, just a freak. He's 6'5". Him and Dijon Lee, one of them is going to have, or maybe both, are going to have really, really good years this upcoming year. I think those guys, both former 5-stars, like boundary corners that are 6'5", 6'4", and can shut down an entire side of the field. That'll be really interesting to see how they look.
All right, just some quick hitters on the offense. Their top quarterbacks, they've got Dante Moore, 1 from Oregon. Trinidad Chambliss from Ole Miss is 3. Arch Manning down at 6 behind CJ Carr and Jaden Mayava. That's a little surprising. Arch Manning, he's just a 91 overall. Sam Levitt from LSU is 8th. He's a 90 overall. And John Mateer is 10th. He's an 89 overall. So Trinidad 3, Arch 6, Levitt 8, Mateer 10. Man, somebody doesn't like
Mateer 10 is crazy. I mean, like, I love John Mateer. I think he's going to be great. He's not he's great in the way that, like, I'm trying to think of a good example of this. I don't want to say Will Levis for a number of reasons. He's great for the fact that, like, he's a really exciting college quarterback. Like, this is not the right comp. Like, he's better than Nick Fitzgerald, but, like, you watch him and you're like, that's a really exciting college football player. I don't think that he's a great quarterback. Like, I mean, you think about all the stuff that happened last year when he had to play in big moments, he was not very good. Everyone talks about how the second half of the season was, like, marred because he was so bad at or he was so hampered by the injury. But it was like, no, they started playing good teams. Like, you started the year off by playing on the road at Temple. That's very different than playing, in some of these other big environments. And so him at 10 is kind of crazy.
Running backs real quick. Kewan Lacy 1, he's a 96. Ahmad Hardy 2, he's a 96. Then we
hold on. Lenore Sellers is in the top 10.
This is halfbacks. Oh, quarterbacks, no. Lenore Sellers was not. Jaden Baugh from Florida is 7. He's a 91. And then Nate Frazier at 10, he's a 90 from Georgia. It feels low for Nate Frazier if we're ranking the best running backs in the country.
Also surprised Marcel Reed. I'm still thinking about the quarterbacks. I will buy this game and I will start a dynasty mode with Lenore Sellers or Marcel Reed. It'll be great. No, I mean, Nate Frazier, I think, is very underrated. That's a guy that, like, I thought was going to blow up last year, and just they did more of a running back by committee. The offensive line they have coming back there, he's going to be very good. That's surprising to me. I'll tell you what to keep an eye out for, and I think Matthew Fuller's a good back. I wouldn't put him in the top 10. The Dylan Jones kid from LSU is really good, and you think about some of the guys that are Texas and Texas A&M.
Yeah,
they can have really, really big years, like really, really big years. And then Jaden Ball. There's no Jaden Ball.
No, I said Jaden Ball. He was in there.
Okay, what about Deshaun Bishop?
No.
So this guy, I did an article on this today. Shameless plug. This guy was the 4th leading rusher in the conference last year, behind an offensive line that's going to be nowhere as good as this year. And here's the thing: if you're buying stock in a player right now, especially like in a game like this, Deshaun Bishop, who had over 1,000 yards. Going to be playing for Tennessee in an offense that is predicated on the run. They finished 1st overall on the run in 2 of the past 3 seasons. That's what they want to do. They want to spread you out with the receivers, get light boxes they can run against. And he's going to have a quarterback that's either a freshman or a redshirt freshman. They're going to have to lean on him. He's going to have over 1,500 yards this year.
Yeah, and I feel like it never is going to pay. Like, everybody's putting Lacy and Ahmad Hardy 1 and 2. It never pans out that way, right? Like, somebody's going to – Jaden Ball is going to explode and have a monster year. Maybe one of those guys from Texas, Hollywood Smothers, or, one of those guys who blows up and has a big year. So maybe Alabama finds a run game again. That could happen too. So we'll see what happens. Wide receivers real quick. We mentioned Jeremiah Smith is 1. He's a 99. Cam Coleman, there he is. He's 3rd best wide receiver at a 92. Ryan Coleman Williams is 6th overall. He's a 91. Mario Craver is a 91 overall. He's at 7. So only 3 SEC receivers in this group: Cam Coleman, Ryan Coleman Williams, and Mario Craver.
Who is it to?
Malachi Toney from Miami.
Okay, that's fair. I don't have a huge disagreement with that. I think Nick Harbor, who's listed as one of the only 3 players in the game with a 99 overall speed, should probably be top 10. Like what he did last year. His production numbers are compared to Ryan Williams last year. They're pretty comparable, and that's pretty surprising to me that he would be, again, ranked that highly in some of like the speed parts or however you rate the players, and then somehow not ranked in that top whatever.
just to close this out, top tight ends. They have Trades Green from LSU as the number 1 tight end in the country as a 92 overall. Again, another Texas Tech guy, Terrence Carter. They got him as the second best tight end in the game at a 92. And then that's it. Oh, Luke Haas from Ole Miss is a 9th, although he was down last year. I thought he was going to be a guy that killed it coming over from Arkansas, but maybe they use him a lot more this year. So that's tight end.
Single player is shocking. Because they've got some dudes over there in that room.
Yeah. And then offensive lineman, Wendell Moy from Tennessee. He's the only top guard they have on this list. So I don't know, just kind of interesting to look at all the different positions. But man, it's a good thing. I mean, when the media gets to SEC Media Days in a couple of weeks, they're not going to be using these EA Sports rankings to rank the teams, are they?
No, because Arch would have been ranked 1,000 out of 100.
Thank you guys for tuning into today's Locked On SEC. Make sure you subscribe and follow so you get all the latest episodes. And if you never miss an episode, we tell you all the time, the Every Dare Club is built for you. Get Locked On SEC ad-free, plus members-only Discord access and more. Head to lockedonsec.supercast.com to join the club. For those of you on video, we send you the first ever 24/7 national Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. On audio, make sure you make your second listen Locked On College Football. I'm Chris Gordy. This has been Locked On SEC. Have a great day, everybody.